welcome ladies and gentlemen, this is Austin here, bringing you guys a PvP matchup. This time it's going to be between SKMC, who's the blue Terran spawning at the top right of Daybreak, and StarTale's PartinG, the red Protoss spawning at the bottom left. He has since left StarTale, if you guys followed that huge announcement, but at the time of this match being played, he was still a member. And this is also from the Iron Squid group stages play. I don't know if you guys saw the last match I brought you, but that was from the same tournament. So these two players duking out. This is game number 3 between them. They're best of 3 series, so it does all come down to this. I'm not sure exactly which match this is in the GSL format. And also on a side note, I am casting in a different location than usual once again. So if you notice a little bit more of an echoing or atmospheric noise, then that is why. Both of these players opening up fairly standard. I'm getting very tongue twisted right now. Opening off fairly standard. I don't know what I was saying. PvP, very volatile matchup, comes down to early pressure a lot of the time. If it ends up becoming a macro game because both players fill their 4 gates or their 2-gate robo pressure or something of that sort, then it just winds up being a Colossus fest. Whoever has the higher Colossus count, better upgrades, and more charge lots will win the game. And so if you try to go against that composition, you generally lose unless you're going DTs or something and your opponent does not have a sufficient count of observers. Also, Archons are quite useful to mix into that late game PvP composition. MC, no stranger to this matchup, though he did bow out in GSL Season 3 of this year to seed 4-1 in a PvP final, the first one ever in GSL history. I felt like bringing you guys this mirror matchup because, I don't know, these two players are very stacked, and it's been a while since I brought you, it was Zuke versus Daisy, November something, middle of November, so it's been a while, and it's always an interesting matchup to watch. We've now got PartinG throwing down a second gas. Him and MC, very, very comparable timings. It seems as though our blue Protoss player a little bit ahead with that second pylon, though their cybernetics core and even follow-up probes are very close in timing, so there's no substantial edge for either player. They're even getting their zealots at the same time. So I mean, when you are a Korean Protoss player and you train so many hours a day, an opener like their PvP openers just becomes completely rehearsed. Like you can see here, all these timings just have been set in stone for them for a while now, and unless they're really thinking of changing things up, this is exactly how they open. It's so fascinating just to see these near identical timings, even with the warp gate. It just, in a mirror matchup, when the two players are at, similar skill level, it just seemingly never stops in terms of them being identical, except for the fact that MC is going for a Stalker while his opponent PartinG is getting a Sentry first. They're both chronoing those units out and getting a chrono on their warp gate. I don't know if PartinG did or not, but he is a little bit behind at this point in his warp gate tech research. Still chronoing out another Sentry, so I don't know if he's really thinking to play defense here. MC is now adding on his second gas much later, so he's not going to have as much of a bank. I don't know why PartinG is going for these Sentries so fast, but he could be going for, you never know, a Sentry Immortal all-in PvP. I'm just kidding, but he's probably either thinking of playing a defensive or just going for some sort of a Sentry-based push-out, which would be pretty strange, but I'm not going to count PartinG out. He's the WCS World Champion, so if he's doing something strange, it's probably with reason, and he is going to go for an expansion here. MC will shortly scout this with his Stalker Zealot, always the famous scouting unit in PvP. You just grab that Stalker Zealot. It helps you to establish your proxy pylon. He will probably chase down this probe with some success. He's able to get it. And now PartinG adding on his Robo facility. MC also expanding. So some Protosses might consider throwing down a couple more gates and just saying, look, you're trying to play economical, I'm going to punish you for it. But MC here, he's just like, alright, monkey see, monkey do. I'm going to throw down my Nexus as well. Have pretty similar timings and also put on some pressure with my 2 Stalkers and 1 Zealot. Meanwhile, PartinG has 3 Sentries, 1 Zealot. I don't know if he has the kind of composition to take this down because Sentries do so low damage, only 6 damage with their little disruption beam. That's all it really does, is just disrupt it. It's a tickle beam, as a lot of people like to call it. So we do now have PartinG getting an Immortal and chronoing that out in style, warping in a Sentry. So he's just really going for a Sentry Immortal all-in PvP off of 2 bases. Always missing us a Forge Fast Expand. Now we've got MC just microing quite well, as should be expected of him. PartinG attacking that supply depot maybe to just scare his opponent a little bit, but this Nexus is losing some health, so PartinG is going to have to pull some probes to be able to make sure it is completely salvaged. And actually, no, he's not even pulling probes. He's just moving them over to the natural. My bad. PartinG has got this, guys. He does not need to pull probes. I apologize for having just sniffed in there a second. I'm still on the tail end of being sick. MC now getting his own immortal. I mean, he's seen a lot. He's got a very similar composition to his opponent, except actually almost identical because now PartinG has 2 stalkers. So it's going to be 1 immortal. We've got 2 zealots for MC, 2 stalkers, 3 sentries. PartinG already has his immortal. He's got 2 stalkers, 4 sentries. So I'm sure you guys can read that anyway. I don't know why I'm reading it off, but just wanted to point out the fact that even now their composition is very similar. Observer's now going to be moving out across the map. PartinG sees MC's forward pylon here, and he might be able to move out and just pick it off because there's not too many units there. And in PvP, every unit counts. So if PartinG is able to get some good force fields off maybe and just trap these units, he could have a significant advantage. It looks like he's kind of indecisive. He's now going to destroy that probe. Everybody get a piece of that. The Immortals got their shots off. I think they did most of the damage. The Sentries just kind of poked in there a little bit, and the Stalkers got a couple of one volley off as well. So everybody was able to. It was a team effort in destroying that poor probe. Now, MC is going to come from the side here. PartinG does not know about this, and that could catch him completely off guard. All he knows is that there's a forward pylon. MC now grabbing double gas at his natural, or no, I thought I saw 2 assimilators, but there is only 1. These observers just floating around like jellyfish, romancing one another. One of them's like, come with me, let us celebrate. But we do also have an engage over here. One of the Immortals dying. Very nice force fields out of MC. And he's going to possibly lose a couple of sentries. The Immortal count 2 to 1. MC not really able to focus this one down because Zealots are chasing his forces away. He's going to force field quite nicely. Sadly sacrificing 2 of his own sentries. He needs to get out of here fast. PartinG force fielding beautifully, and that is going to trap that Immortal and put our blue Protoss player in really dire straits because he cannot really get enough units quickly enough. I don't think he's chronoing out an Immortal probably like a madman. He's got a good amount of energy saved up off his 2 Nexi, but he definitely wants to really ensure he can survive this. Because PartinG pushing out with a pretty mean task force of 2 Immortals, 4 Sentries, 2 Stalkers, couple Zealots also. Actually 5 Zealots because these 2 are also mixed in. So MC lost that engage quite badly. I was a little bit busy focusing on the Observer romance, but he just... I can't really explain it too well. The Zealots chased his forces away. It was really lost here. I mean, he force fielded himself off and lost 2 sentries right away, and then the clutch force fields out of PartinG, who's the Sentry Immortal all-in master in PvZ. So he's quite used to his force field micro. Just that really sealed the deal. But I'm not going to count MC out quite yet. Army supply is showing a 13 supply lead here for PartinG. He's going to have his first Colossus out as well. No sign of range because he realizes, hey, I don't need it. I can just win the game outright without the extended thermal lance upgrade. So MC knows this is coming, and he's quite helpless to defend against it unless he can get very, very good force fields off of this 1 sentry, which only has enough energy for... It actually now has enough energy for 2. PartinG getting that very aggressive forward pylon. Gonna make sure all his Zealots are engaging, but I don't think that really quite matters because MC... Although he is chronoing quite well, just cannot stand against this force. Even with force fields, he's going to get them crushed by this Colossus. But PartinG just has a very good engagement point. It looks like MC is going to warp in some reinforcement Zealots, but this Colossus going on the high ground, focusing down his opponent's Immortals. And I think this game is going to be our red Protoss players. Very nicely done there. He got that lucky engage at his base, and that just goes to show how coin flippy PvP can be. MC a very high level player, so too is PartinG. Just came down to 1 single engage. It would be pretty funny if MC pulled this one up, but I don't think he will. PartinG even arrogantly moving in that 1 Colossus, going to pretty much suicide it, but that does not matter too much. The Colossus is even surviving, so PartinG deservedly capturing this victory here in game number 3 of this Iron Squid series, guys. There's the GG, or the G, and then Korean symbol from MC. Hope you guys enjoy this cast. I will see you next time.